What's up, Unlocking Your Inner Strength listeners? How would you like to know how to banish the myth of multitasking from your brain forever? Well, I got good news for you. I've put together a special report showing you exactly how to do this. Normally it's $45, but since you're a loyal listener of the show, you can get it for only $10 at unlockingyourinnerstrength.com/time.
You're listening to the Inner Strength Show. If you want to step into your greatness, you've come to the right place. Here is your host, the human strength expert, Kyle Newell.
What's up, everybody? It's Kyle once again with the Unlocking Your Inner Strength podcast, episode number 77. And today we're going to go over some mindset stuff as usual, as well as this topic of sodium. Now, just a little preamble in here, my Yeti cup, I have a good amount of sodium with water. Okay, basically somewhat like drinking ocean water. We're going to go over that in a minute. First thing I want to talk about as you head into the week is taking back your own power. So often we give away so much power because we refuse to take responsibility for our actions. So we have a couple things here. You have accountability, responsibility, and commitment. I've always believed that one of my greatest strengths was the ability to take responsibility, the choice to take responsibility for anything that happens in my life, any situation that I'm put in, any thing that happens to me. Although it might be external circumstances in some cases, it's my attitude and my way to respond. When most people have something go wrong, they want to hurry up and say, it was so-and-so's fault. This wasn't, it's not fair. He did it to me. She did it to me. And what you're really doing when you do that is you're giving away your power. If you choose to be responsible, so your ability to respond, remember the animal brain is reactive. It's different than responsive. We want to be higher level thinking, so we have to respond. Reaction is emotional. Usually people that don't accept responsibility for anything are purely reactive nearly all the time. They're living in their animal brain. Now, commitment. Commitment is a future promise, let's say, to another person or some kind of action you're going to take. You have to remain committed. Whatever it is that you choose, that what you want to do with your life. It's so easy to get caught up in what's called lag indicators, so the outcome. You can't always focus on the outcome. The outcome is there to drive your actions. Your goal is there to drive your actions, but it's the lead indicators. What are you doing on a daily basis? What are you doing with the process? And it all comes down to process. Nick Saben, who's the coach at Alabama, has a game as I record this on January 8th, national championship game tonight. And he's really famous for focusing on the process, the next play. What's the next play? And it's led him to 6 national titles, I believe, or I think tonight he's going for number 6 or number 7. So you got to always rein yourself back in. Thinking too much about the outcomes is going to cause anxiety because you're thinking out into the future. You're living out in the future where you have no prediction and response. So you have no pattern about what's going to happen out there. It's going to cause your brain to start worrying and go into threat mode. So you got to rein it back and focus in the moment. Focus in the moment. And accountability, last thing for your mindset today. Accountability is, think of an account. It's something you measure, like your bank account. All right? Debits, credits, how much money's in there? Is money coming in? Money going out? So accounting is something that you measure. And your ability with accounting is your ability to measure how are you doing on your process. Now, most people, again, don't want to take responsibility for their results. And the reason I'm thinking about this stuff so much is we got a leadership meeting at Newell Strength tonight. And one of my main roles is marketing. And I have an accountability of how many new clients I'm trying to bring in and what am I doing to do that. And it's easy to make excuses and deflect if I don't hit the target. But it's really just a way to measure numbers, my ability to account for my actions. Think of it like that. All right, so now that's it for your mindset for episode number 77. We're going to go into sodium. Sodium is something that is very misunderstood by nearly everybody. Some of the things you're going to hear people say is sodium is going to cause water retention, and it will in the short term. Sodium is bad for you. It's going to cause high blood pressure, and on and on and on. And as an aside, when I wrote my cholesterol paper a couple months ago, high insulin levels are actually what's going to cause high blood pressure in a lot of the cases. So eating too many carbs, too many refined carbs. So it affects the kidneys. And your kidneys are responsible for a hormone called aldosterone, which is going to affect water levels in the body. Now let's go into the benefits of sea salt. So I'm not talking about regular table salt. I'm talking about pink Himalayan sea salt. Pink Himalayan sea salt has over 75 different micronutrients, which is amazing. I mean, it's an amazing thing to put into your body. Most people are deficient in sodium because we've been taught low sodium, it's bad for you, it's bad for you. When really it should be the exact opposite. There's a reason that sodium, there's the saying, the salt of life. It's essential for life. That's where that came from. What's up, Unlocking Your Inner Strength listeners? How would you like to know how to banish the myth of multitasking from your brain forever? Well, I got good news for you. I've put together a special report showing you exactly how to do this. Normally it's $45, but since you're a loyal listener of the show, you can get it for only $10 at unlockingyourinnerstrength.com/time. Now, sodium and potassium, I want you to picture a circle. That's your cell. Okay, there's a certain ratio of potassium inside the cell and sodium outside the cell and vice versa. If we keep sodium levels low, that's going to throw off potassium. If we have too much potassium outside of our cell, because it's trying to maintain this balance, we're going to be lethargic, listless, weak, low energy, muscle cramping, all these types of things. Keeping a proper amount of sodium in your body is going to increase your energy levels, increase muscular performance. Now, potassium is also directly related to your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the nervous system that's responsible for resting, digesting, and relaxation. Okay? So if we have proper sodium, it's a trickle-down effect. We're going to be able to get into that relaxed state better and have a balance between our parasympathetic nervous system and our sympathetic nervous system, which is what most people operate in all the time. That's stress, that's fight, flight, freeze. That is not the state we want to be in, okay? Most people, if they could just manage their stress and reduce stress and become more well-rested, the health issues, the body composition issues they have would clean up. They would kind of magically, over time, go away. And a quick aside with that, I always tell people it's not what you eat as much as it is who you are when you eat it. Now, we have a lot of people that'll go away on vacation, a lot of clients, and they'll be worried about what should I eat? What should I do? And they start panicking. And we always tell them, look, go away, relax, enjoy it. Nearly all the time they go away, they come back and they weigh the same or they weigh less than when they left, despite eating whatever they want, despite drinking. And it's because they're relaxed. It's because their cell phone is off, hopefully, but they were in a relaxed state. And all of a sudden, their body doesn't have to hold on to this garbage and it can function properly. That's what we're trying to get to. Now, getting back to sodium. Water follows sodium because of the positive charge of sodium, negative charge of water. So, water following sodium, most people think, okay, taking in sodium is going to make me retain water. In the short term, it will as your body balances out and gets back to where it needs your sodium inside and outside of the cell. Once your body adjusts and gets that correct, and you have to start flushing out excess sodium if you have any, water's going to follow that sodium out. So the best way to get rid of water retention issues are increasing your sodium over the long term and increasing your water intake. Water, again, it's a feedback loop with your body. Water is the best diuretic there is, meaning it's the best way to flush water out of your body. Your body tends to hold on to things when you cut things out. That's the way the body works. So we want to get sodium up and get water up. Now, your thyroid hormones are directly dependent, okay, based on how much sodium you have in each cell. So most people say, I have a thyroid issue. My metabolism's slow. Well, increasing your sodium, I always told people, is going to increase your metabolism because it's going to affect your thyroid. You have to remember all these other hormones in your body are a trickle down of either cortisol, insulin, or estrogen. One of those. Okay, so like thyroid, testosterone, these things are usually symptoms of something else. They're not usually the direct issue themselves. So sodium does some really cool things. In a perfect world, here's what I would recommend for sodium intake. 2 grams of sodium per liter of water. Now, that might seem like a lot. It's going to taste very salty when you start out. So I tell people start with half of a teaspoon per day of pink Himalayan sea salt, sprinkle it into your water. As you grow acquired to it and accustomed to it, you can start increasing that. Now, how much water should you be drinking? Well, if you were training in a gym, there's 2 answers to this, okay? If you were training hard and sweating a lot, and let's say this is for athletes that weigh 150 or less, I would recommend 3 liters of water at least per day. If you weigh between 150 and 225, I recommend between 3 and 5 liters of water. If you weigh more than 225, I recommend more than 5 liters of water. Now, for the average trainee, the adult that's going to the gym, your minimum that you want to get in is half of a gallon of water per day. So you would eventually work up to taking 2 grams of sodium. A tablespoon of sodium, pink Himalayan sea salt, has 1.6 grams. So you're going to be looking to work up to about a tablespoon of sodium. Now, this might seem like a boring topic, but I'm always looking at ways to make the body and the brain function better. And adding pink Himalayan sea salt into your routine, into your supplement routine. Don't worry about going out and buying all this fancy exotic supplements right now. Get on things like sodium, and then you add in magnesium. So that's what I got for today's episode. Remember, for your mindset stuff, take back your power. That's your accountability, your ability to account for your actions and measure where you're at. Your responsibility, your ability to respond and not react. And commitment to a future event or a future thing with another person. Commit to it and then go in, day out. Focus on your lead indicators. What are you doing on a daily basis? The lag is what's going to come out of that. So that's what I got for episode number 77. Don't forget, if you like it, please leave a review on iTunes. That would help me out greatly. Share it with a friend that can use a positive word. And we will be back next week.
You've been listening to The Inner Strength Show. If you enjoyed the show, remember to subscribe, rate, and review us in iTunes.